What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and this is Regular Guy Training. So, as the time winds down on the shotgun class that I'm getting ready to teach here out in Louisiana on the 1st and 2nd of September, you know, shameless plug, I've actually gotten a lot of questions on solid light mounts and all this other shit, and a lot of guys that are just kind of like, well, I've got a 590 or an 870 or a 500 or a freaking Hawk or whatever. And I don't want to do the Magpul furniture setup, so what do I do, right? It's either they don't want to mess around with the M-lock because of basically how short it is on the palm, making it really awkward to cycle back and forth, or if they're putting in, like, pick their preference on either defense or hunting slugs, and that light just gores up their hand. So I get questions on that kind of stuff a lot. This is from RS Regulate, the AK guys, the dudes that make the side mounts and all that stuff for AKM pattern rifles and Veprs and whatnot. What they had basically done was they had taken their barrel-mounted concept for their flashlight mount, which for the AK is a barrel-mounted 1913 section, and they did the same thing for the tube on a pump-action shotgun, or whatever magazine tube that you can figure out to use it on. It's really simple. All it is a bolt-on 1913 section that goes to the mag tube. There's a pair of screws. One goes in this way, one goes in that way. You use a bunch of Loctite and you call it good. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's fantastic. I've shot the crap out of this shotgun since I mounted it. My light still works. Nothing's come loose either on the light or the mount. It works great. It doesn't bind the magazine tube, because I know that that's going to be a question that's coming up. If you know how to tighten screws, you're not going to bind your magazine tube. It's just not happening. So as far as installation and stuff like that goes, on this particular shotgun, all I really did was I yoked back on the action a little bit. Rather, all I really did was just run the pump to the rear, or the fore end to the rear, so that the bolt was open, loosen up the nut, pulled the barrel out, started to fit this a little bit. I didn't tighten anything down at all, but I started to fit this a little bit, threw the barrel back on, ran the pump forward to figure out the furthest forward that I could mount this, right? And then from there I just kind of, you know, installed it, angled it a little bit so that my thumb could get to the light switch easily, and that was it. Simple as that. I mean, it's one of those things where there isn't a whole lot to say because it checks all the boxes, okay? It's not the most expensive thing ever. It's really simple and pretty retard proof as far as installing it is concerned. It mounts whatever it is that you want to mount to it because it's a 1913 section and nothing proprietary. Doesn't come loose because the screws are pretty thick and you can get lots of Loctite in there. You know, just throw Loctite in the screw holes and then the screw, you know, thread them both into where it stays and then back one in, out, so that you got the Loctite in the threads. Tighten both of them down. Done. It's good. It works. That's all I really got. I mean, this is more of a link that I can shoot to people when they ask me a question on what's going on with light mounts for a shotgun and that kind of deal. But yeah, that's all I got. RS Regulate, the nomenclature or whatever they title it, will be in the title of this video. So there you go, as well as a link in the description below that goes straight to the product. So that's all I got. It works good. If you want to take some training with us, we still got a bunch of classes that are available. Something happened to a couple of people that were getting ready to go to Pistol 1 in Maine, so a couple of those slots opened up. There's still, I think, exactly it's either 1 or 2 slots for the shotgun class in Louisiana, September 1 and 2. Rifle 1 and 2 has slots open for it in Louisiana also the following week. Montana, Rifle 1 and 2, we got slots open for that. There's not a whole lot of pistol stuff that's available other than Maine, but as we get closer to crunch time for any class that we do, there's always some kind of drop here or there. You know, things happen to people in life and all that, so it's really no big deal. But if you're on a waiting list, we just stick you into the next slot. And if you're wondering whether or not that there is a waiting list for a particular class, simply ask. If you're on the website, you can see all the contact information on the bottom of any course description that you click on. It's easy as that. If you want to donate to Patreon and all that stuff, you can absolutely do it. You guys know this system by now. It goes to a good place, as well as toward the review side of the house for us. So, if you want to donate to us, great, fine. Do what you got to do. If you want to join us on Facebook, you can absolutely do that. Links for all of this stuff are in the description below. And remember, guys, a regular guy's firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Be easy.